like to welcome all of you to the August 25th, 2023 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll call?
Supervisor Clavin.
I'm here.
Councilman Carini.
Yeah.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Busby. Councilwoman Miller.
Here.
Councilman Muscarella.
Here.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
I will ask Dennis Dunn to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All rise. Face the American flag. Place your right hand over your heart. One hand salute. Wait. She's up. Okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Listen, while we're still up, I just want to notice in the front row here, we have the Reverend Isaiah Montaire. He's 86 years old, served in Korea in the United States Marine Corps, and his son Junior has joined us, and his wife is suffering with stage 4 cancer. We thank you for coming to support the husband. Saluted. God bless you. God bless America.
And Mr. Supervisor, to that end,
Yes, sir.
I think the Reverend is here for item number 5, public hearing on the moratorium.
Yes.
As I explained to them, I'll be asking for a motion to adjourn that to May 9th, so that hearing will not occur today in case they don't want to stay for the meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. John, Town Attorney, should we take out of order number 5, or if the recommendation may be convenient for, or go through regular?
That would be great, Mr. Supervisor, if we could. So I'm going to ask for to consider a motion to adjourn that hearing until May 9th.
Yeah, so just so it's clear, there's an adjournment on item number 5. We have members of the community. I know we've talked to esteemed counsel, Mr. Brewington, about taking out of order. Correct, Mr. Brewington, you're okay with us taking out of order?
Thank you so much, sir. You're quite a gentleman.
Yeah, listen, the only reason he's being so nice to me, just so ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows the audience, I'm an attorney. The first case I ever tried in my entire life, I lost a friend. So with that, I will ask someone to make a motion to adjourn item number 5. May someone make that motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, call.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Busby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Brewington. And to the residents, I would say council will advise you when the meeting will be adjourned. I thank all of you for coming down here today. Thank you all. Take care. Madam Clerk, would you please call the first item on the calendar?
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions near East Rockaway, Merrick, Oceanside, and Uniondale.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips at item number 1. Did anybody wish to be heard that did not sign in item number 1? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Busby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please go to the next item.
Proposed local law regarding arterial stops near East Rockaway and Franklin Square.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I do not have any slips. Any member of the public did not sign in and wishes to be heard on item number 2? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Busby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please go to the next item.
Proposed local law regarding traffic regulations in the vicinity of schools in East Meadow and Franklin Square.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Does anybody who did not sign in and wishes to be heard on item number 3? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Busby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, let's go to the next item.
Proposed handicap parking on public streets in Elmont and West Hempstead.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips in item number 4. Does anybody wish to be heard that did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Supervisor Clavin,
Yeah.
Councilman Carini,
Aye.
Councilman Dunn,
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Busby, Councilwoman Miller, Councilman Mascarella,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
We had already adjourned to item number 5, is that correct, Madam Clerk? Correct. All right, then, the next motion.
We have an application of Gola EM Realty LLC for a variance from provisions of the GSS ordinance to repeal and replace restrictive covenants, site plan approval, and install storage tanks in Wantagh.
Good morning, if I identify yourself for the record, that'd be great, Council.
Good morning, for the applicant, Matthew Ingber from the law firm of Brown, Altman, and DeLeo, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 301, Melville, New York, 11747. And with me this morning is our project engineer, Chris Tartaglia of PE of High Point Engineering, who's available to answer any questions that you may have. We're here today for Gola's application to redevelop the existing gasoline fueling station at 892 Wantagh Avenue in Wantagh with a new gasoline station with 6 fueling dispensers, so it'll be 12 positions in total, a new canopy, a 4,010 square foot Bowler Market, which will include a Moe's Southwest Grill and Tim Hortons, as well as make associated site and landscaping improvements. Specifically, the applicant seeks site plan approval to repeal prior town board covenants and restrictions that were dated November 17th of 1994, as well as November 3rd and November 14th of 1997. Variances for the new signs, building, canopy, and off-street parking, as well as to install new underground storage tanks. It's a matter of housekeeping. The public mailing and posting for this hearing were performed in accordance with the town code, and both were submitted to the town clerk on April 20th of this year. And prior to this morning's hearing, our office and our project engineer submitted the following documents in further support. A petition in support of the applicant's request to amend covenants and restrictions and to modify the site plan. A narrative in support of variance relief. A color site plan rendering prepared by High Point Engineering dated April 3rd of 2023, as well as an aerial plan prepared by High Point Engineering dated April 4th of 2023. We asked that the color site plan rendering be displayed on the board. And as we can see from the aerial map, that the property is surrounded by a mix of commercial and residential used properties. To the north, across North Jerusalem Road, is MacArthur High School. To the east of the property, on the opposite side of Wantagh Avenue, is residential development. Abutting the property to its south is a 7-Eleven convenience store. And abutting the property to its west is a vacant, undeveloped lot, which is owned by Nassau County and used as a recharge basin. And then further west is a child care center and further residential development. So based on our review of town records, the property has been improved with a gasoline fueling station for approximately 73 years, beginning in circa 1950. And it appears that the auto repair use began in 1951, and the convenience store use began in 1955. The property is currently improved with a gasoline fueling station with 5 dispensers, which are a total of 10 positions, a 5,800 square foot building, which is used as a convenience store, as well as a 10-bay auto repair facility. And we note for the record, the auto repair bays are not currently in operation. This application will not change the character of the area, as this site will continue to be used as a gasoline fueling station and convenience store. When the property is redeveloped, the auto repair use will be discontinued. And so specifically, the applicant is going to raise the 5,800 square foot building and develop a smaller 4,100 square foot Bowler Market. And as we previously noted, it will include a Moe's Southwest Grill and Tim Hortons. The Bowler Market will be a masonry building sided with brick paneling and a wall finishing system, consistent with the architectural style at other Bowler Markets in the town. In addition, the existing fuel dispensers will be replaced with 6 new dispensers. So it will be a total of 12 dispensers. We're going from 10 positions to now 12 positions. In addition, the fueling canopy, the new fueling canopy will be set back approximately 27.1 feet from Montauk Avenue, which is an improvement from the existing conditions, as the existing canopy is set back approximately 16.8 feet from Montauk Avenue. The application is also going to make vehicular safety improvements, especially as it relates to site access. So currently on North Jerusalem Road, there is a one single driveway. This will be modified and be designated with markings and signage to be right in and right out only. There will also be a no left turn on the westbound side of North Jerusalem Road. On Montauk Avenue, the FOLA will be removing the northerly curb cut, which is by the intersection of Montauk Avenue and North Jerusalem Road. The existing southerly curb cut will be modified, and that will also be designated as right in and right out only. In terms of landscaping, FOLA will landscape the property in an attractive manner consistent with their other sites. So here FOLA will be planting approximately 37 trees along the westerly and along the westerly rear yard and the southwesterly corner of the site. In addition, shrubs will be planted at the northeasterly corner of the property, fronting Montauk Avenue and the North Jerusalem Road intersection. In addition, perennials will be planted along North Jerusalem Road and along the southerly side yard. So with that, I'd like to open up the hearing for any questions that the board or public may have.
Okay, I appreciate that. I see one from the board members jumping on the date. Yes.
I apologize. I don't see where the dumpsters are going.
The dumpster is on the southerly side of the New Bolo Market.
Okay, so it's going to be, all right, I see it. Thank you. Thank you. The supervisor pointed it out for me. Thank you. Now the flag, you have the flag pole?
Yeah, we will be installing the flag. I have our project engineer who could tell you where it's going to be installed.
I'll tell you what, McCall High School is right across the street.
Right.
A lot of the students go in the Marine Corps and the other branches of service when they come home. They love seeing the American flag, as do the residents of Levittown. Because that's the exit of Montauk and entrance into Levittown. And it really does us. The guys come home from war, gals come home from war, and they love seeing the flag, and it is going to happen. So
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Counselor, have you ever done a presentation here before?
Yes.
And then you know that question's coming every single time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very passionate about it. We set it up to the T, so I appreciate the fact that you're already planning that ahead.
Yeah, so actually on the plan, the flag pole, there's a note on the North Jerusalem side where there's going to be a proposed flag pole.
Oh, there it is. It says the Dennis Dunn corner right there.
Yeah.
But the other thing is you're going to replace the fence with what, PCB, whatever that's.
Yeah, PVC fencing.
You're going to be replacing.
Replacing.
And you know what, Paula does an incredible job. We've done a few things in my area, which is in Belmore and in Merrick and East Meadow and Levittown, and you do a wonderful job. It really is clean, and I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to say, I appreciate the fact that what you're doing to the one that knows that, so it's coming on briefly.
Thank you.
Listen, I get gassy. You went down the street, so you did a great job. Okay. So any other board members that have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Will there be irrigation where you're planting the trees and shrubbery and landscaping?
Yes.
The irrigation system?
Yeah, yes, there will be an irrigation system.
And all of the landscaping will be properly maintained?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. With that, I know I don't have any slips for item number 6 from anybody from the audience. Does anybody wish to be heard on item number 6 that did not sign in? Anybody have any questions particularly? And if you want to bring up some closing, that's great.
That's all we have.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you doing the right-hand turn out of the gas station on the road tip. I appreciate the presentation, and I know that you appreciate the flag. And okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, may I please have a motion?
Move the public hearing be closed and the board reserve decision.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Creedy.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Buzby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay, next we have the decision calendar. Madam Clerk, would you please call the first item on the decision calendar, or are you calling it all in unison?
Separately.
Several, go for it.
We have a resolution adopting a secret negative declaration and determination of non-significance in connection with an application for an inclusion of parcel of land located in Uniondale.
Okay, can I motion on item number, decision 7A?
I move the board adopt the items.
Okay, can I have a second on 7A?
I'll second the motion.
All right.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Buzby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
All right, please call the next item on the decision calendar.
We have the application of Maclex LLC to include the properties 576 and 576A Uniondale Avenue into the GSS district in Uniondale.
Okay, can I have a motion on decision 7?
I move that the board adopt the items.
Second? Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Buzby.
I move that the board adopt the items.
Nope, that's just, okay.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. And then can I have a motion on decision calendar item number 8?
We have a decision accepting a declaration of restrictive covenants incidental to and in connection with granting the petition of Maclex LLC for a variance from the GSS district located at 576 and 576A Uniondale Avenue in Uniondale.
A motion on the decision?
I move that we adopt the items.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Buzby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar.
Yes. On the administrative calendar, there are items 9 through 71.
Mr. Supervisor, regarding items 56 through 58, different county records and surveys spell Wanzer's Lane differently. It's spelled Wanzer with an S, it's spelled Wanzer with a Z, and it's spelled Wanzer Avenue in certain instances. So I recommend this board amend items 56 through 58 to include all those various spellings for clarity.
Okay, so for items 56 or 58, it would not only be the spelling in the calendar, but it would sort of be these aliases that you discovered in the county, which include the WANSERS lane, WANZER Avenue, and WANSER Avenue. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so let the record reflect those variations for the county records will be included in items 56 and 58. May I have a motion to that effect of those variations?
So moved.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Buzby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on anything on the administrative calendar? Okay, I have a couple of slips. We'll start off with Phyllis Turcacci. Phyllis? Maureen Turcacci, if you give your name and record, address for the record, thanks.
Phil Scacci. Item number 29, the printing. First, why can't this be done in-house?
Clark? You said that by yourself, right?
Greg Lloyd, Director of Communications. Thank you, Town Board. Thank you, Supervisor. This is a complicated catalog that has to be sent out of house. We don't have the equipment to produce it in-house, and it's a big job, so it's a continuation of the contract.
Also, why wasn't the fee schedule provided as part of the resolution? It says fee schedule per item, but there's nothing that I could see that was published.
We'll have to see if that can be included.
Excuse me?
You say he's going to follow up with you?
Who's gonna follow up?
Mr. Blower.
Oh, he is, okay, you send me the fee schedule?
No, I said follow up.
Okay, thank you. Items number 30. Once again, there's no fee schedule for those items. I noticed in item 26, you do give a fee schedule, so I'm not sure why you sometimes give a fee schedule and sometimes you don't. Can somebody follow up with me on item 30 to give me the fee schedule, or do I have to foil it?
I will ask my deputy from General Services, is that one fall under General Services?
Okay.
All right.
Item number 66. Was this additional spending included in the 2023 budget adopted last year?
Number 66, Mr. Gotcha, this was Schedule A employees, and based on the retirement, where the town saved millions of dollars, the town board decided that we were going to match for the Schedule A employees the raises that were given to all the union contract employees. So we actually have the money, we still are running it with the retirement, we actually still have a savings, but we thought that the employees that work really diligently hard here in the town of Hempstead, the men and women deserve the same as the contract employees.
That answered none of my questions.
No, I think it did.
Was this
I just answered the question.
included
No, I just answered the question.
2023? Just a yes or no answer.
No, Mr. Gotcha, I just want to let you know, Mr. Gotcha, you don't make the rules. You know what? I answered your question. You don't tell me what to do. I don't tell you what to do, but I did give you an answer.
You responded, you didn't give me an answer to the
Maybe
question.
you didn't like it. I can't help it.
Okay, yeah, I know.
No.
Just say you don't want to answer it then.
I don't want to say that because I did answer it. You'd be telling a lie if you didn't say that.
How much is this going to cost?
The
What's the
savings.
total amount?
I'm trying to figure the amount. Thanks.
John Mastro, Marina Town Controller. This will be approximately $300,000. No, it's not in the budget, but neither was the 50 people that retired under the supervisor's early retirement plan. So the two things more than compensate for each other.
Thank you for answering my question.
Okay. Next I have James Jacobs. Morning, Mr. Jacobs. You came in as director now.
Morning, Supervisor. I kind of missed the accent million name, but so the James B. Jacob, Uniondale, 568 Ashford. On item number 19, I just need a point of clarification on the Department of Planning and Economic Development. So what's that pertaining to and when to the start date of that said project and completion date? And good morning, council people.
Yeah. Give the commissioner a second. I give the mic. So that takes a long one. Commissioner, identify yourself for the record, that'd be great.
Good morning, Supervisor, members of the town board. Resolution number 19, I'm sorry, John Radkin, Commissioner, Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you, man.
So Resolution 19 allows me to sign the necessary agreements with HUD in reference to a $2 million grant that we received from Kathleen Rice.
Okay, is that pertaining to any particular project? Like what is the $2 million supposed to be used for the census state of Uniondale?
Yes, this is on Front Street from California Avenue all the way up to Maple Grove. So that's the streetscape for the entire project. The $2 million will be spent on the actual construction costs, where the town of Hempstead laid out $160,000 to do the design and the engineering work. Just so that you're aware, even though we haven't signed the agreement, because it's before town board today, we've already completed the survey as well as the design for the entire project. Those documents were just sent up to the state for the state's comments. If they make any changes, we have to change it and send it back to the state. And we're looking to probably start this project next spring.
So it'll be then 2024 instead of 2023?
That's correct.
And do you have a particular date in 2024 that will actually be started, so it'll be on the record, please?
I'm hoping to start it in the spring. Again, it depends on when we get the paperwork back from the state, because it's on a state road.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about this being tabled down the road or anything of that nature, right?
No, what the town board is doing today is allowing me to sign all the contract that's needed fuel HUD's requirements.
I think that you are part of public record also, right?
I'm sorry?
When you do this documentation, the signing and everything else, that be part of the public record also, right?
Yeah, that's what this is for today.
Okay, I just want to be on the same page.
Yes, and once it goes out to bid next spring, or, you know, in the wintertime or the spring, whenever we get the documents back, that will come before the town board approving the contract with the wins the bid.
All right, thank you for the information, appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake. Next item, Carl Jacobs. Morning, Ms. Jacobs. Your name and address for the record, thanks.
Jacobs, Uniondale. Same issue here with the item 19. These funds were allocated from Kathleen Rice, Congresswoman, former Congresswoman Kathleen Rice. Was this 4 years ago, I would say? Would you have an answer to that, sir?
Good morning, John Rankin, Commissioner of Planning and Economic Development. I believe it was about a year and a half ago when the Congresswoman stated that she was going to give this grant to the town of Hempstead.
Well, I beg to differ, and I will definitely follow up with my state and my congressperson, because my records show it was almost 4 years ago, but I will follow up with that, so we leave that alone. And now you said this project will commence approximately in 2024 in the spring?
That's correct.
Well, I would hope that this will be done expeditiously because Front Street is a safety issue. The sidewalks are uneven, there are cracks in the sidewalk, there are no curbs. There is severe ponding where the children from California Avenue School, the children that come across the street, they have to walk through puddles of water that stays there stagnant for sometimes 4 and 5 days, okay, because of the drainage. Like I said, the elderly people cannot walk the sidewalks because their canes and their walkers get caught in the cracks, and there is insufficient lighting on Front Street. So I hope this will be done expeditiously, and I will make sure that there's constant oversight on this from our state and our federal officials. Thank you.
Well, just so that you're aware, that's the reason why I filled out the application for this project with Kathleen Rice's office.
I will stay on top of this. Thank you.
Great, and we'll follow up with our new Congressman, Anthony Esposito. I know he's very interested in this, so thank you.
Yes, he made sure that we got this application before us now.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's nice having Anthony there, too. I don't have any of these slips on the administrative calendar. If anybody else would like to be heard, please walk up to the mic and identify yourself. Thank you. How are you doing, community midnight? This will be great.
How am I doing? Back to have to keep coming here month after month when I need to be out helping trying to keep veterans from committing suicide and keeping our seniors in a household. But how am I doing? Interesting. Good afternoon, one and all. First, I am pleasantly surprised that the issue with regard to Inwood and Lawrence had been adjourned, and I'm hoping that again, that review process will continue to take place so those residents get the funding that was earned by them, that was paid by all taxpayers, and they get the projects that they need. Having said that, also I want to give a shout out to the public safety workers here, and they do a great job. I'm trying to focus a new year on giving praise as well as protest. It's good for my own inner peace with what has to happen on a daily basis around here. Now to the issue at hand before I'm reprimanded about using my taxpayer time for the administrative calendar. Number 9, I need to know the names of the streets, the 2 locations in Baldwin. Number 14, the resolution with regard to directing construction or reconstruction of sidewalk along certain streets. Where are they? Anytime anybody wants to walk up and get that started, I just want everything on the record.
As always, we're going to ask the commissioner to come up, or deputy commissioner. Okay. Come up there. Thanks, Dan.
While they're moving, I got a bad back. Poor hernia.
You're walking up, we can be a little polite there too. So if you identify yourself, Commissioner.
Supervisor, board members, Frederick Jobs, acting commissioner of Hempstead Building Department.
Hi.
You specifically are interested in 1655 Grand Avenue, is that correct?
Yes, and then what was the other location?
Yes, that's on the northeast corner of Grand and Stanton Avenue, and that was secured, boarded up because of a car that ran into the building.
Yes, so far we've had 6 cars that run into the building on Grand Prix Avenue. Okay, thank you. I thank you for that.
Would you like to know about 1111?
Yes.
Van Buren? That was resecured, an abandoned house. Many times we had to go back. Obviously, when you read the actual resolutions, and we title it Declaration of Emergency and Threat of Imminent Danger. Well, this was a previous board up, which people get into, try and remove the board up, and we had to resecure the property.
Right. Okay, cool. Because we have a couple of houses like that. I got a house on Wesley, it's been empty, and it's been largely abandoned. I don't know if we're at the board up stage because the ownership is in dispute. But I thank you for giving me that information. I appreciate it. Item 34 and 35. 34, what is this and why? We can't understand it. 35. Again, that last word is supposed to be revenue versus review. I don't know about whoever drafts this. I gather it's a lot of material, but maybe we need to have some oversight. Maybe if we hired a service disabled veteran, minority woman-owned business, we would have better clarification and writing. Can somebody answer that question as my time is ticking? And I also have questions about 41 and 43. Again, I want it on the record so that I could possibly get the clock stopped because it just keeps on moving, and I'd like to get answers.
Yes, number 34, the John Mastro Marina Town Controller. On 34, this is a reallocation of American Rescue Funds. Originally, it was allocated for park improvements in West Hempstead, but when the bids went out, bids came in significantly higher, so that project had to be remodified and lowered. It produced some funding that has been reallocated based upon needs in the Parks Department. So we have a list of all of the park improvements that are going to be improved based upon $1.6 million.
Okay, would I be able to get a copy of that?
Sure.
I appreciate that. Item 35.
Item 35, it's appropriation increase in general fund, outlay expenses, accounts, and creation. It's $4,000. It's a reallocation, again, of American Rescue Funds. It's just a moving of the funds.
Okay, are we actually rescuing what the fund was actually designated for? Because it seems like we're moving money around into areas that don't seem to comply with the original intent.
Everything that is here on a resolution has gone through our process internally, and it is submitted to outside counsel for their written approval as it relates to the requirements. Everything has gone through.
Right. And this is well-connected outside counsel that seems to be giving a large amount of donations, and they get the large majority of contracts. Okay, 41 and 43.
What about 41 and 43?
Where are the funds from the budget for this? I'm all for getting more equipment for our EMS. Aren't we budgeted for those areas initially?
Yes, yeah. That was, there is a small balance left in the American Rescue Fund, and that is for the EMT's vehicles. So we've allocated $200,000 to purchase 3 emergency EMT vehicles out of the American Rescue Funds. Again, that went through the same process. It went through outside counsel for Mr. Miller.
Okay, since my clock was ticking, the last item is...
No, but we're good. You're the Ms. Perry, you know the rules very well.
I was watching my time.
That's okay, so are we. I appreciate it as always. Very nice of you.
Environmental, where we can't allocate funding to build a resource for our better.
Thank you very much.
Now,
Next, I don't have any
my
other
3 minutes.
slips on the administrative calendar. Is anybody that did not sign in that wishes to be heard? Great, if you come to the back and give your name and address, that'd be great. Morning.
Good morning. My name is Patty Harris. I'm also known as Mrs. Melvin Harris Jr.'s widow. I live in Uniondale. I'm going to talk about on number 19. On number 19, I'm glad that something's going to be done. I'm very happy about that. But also, I have to advocate because I live on Lenox. And that's in between the California Avenue all the way to Maple. Will the community that attached, their blocks attached to the front street, will they be known that this is coming to, how I can say, close up the first part of their blocks because of the fact that traffic will now be coming onto the inner side of the blocks? Because you have a little strip mall that has restaurants and laundromats, people who go there, so they will be parking on our blocks. Will you be notifying us when the action will be taken, when they start developing?
Good morning, John Mackin, Commissioner of Planning and Economic Development. Yes, we will let everyone know before we start construction that it's going to happen. And again, it won't happen for approximately till next spring. But we will let you know prior to starting.
I understand. I just want on record so that I can come back and say, you know, you said this at the meeting or such and such, and you will be notifying us. And we didn't get notified.
But you come back to the meeting when he notified you and say, hey, John, you got us notified. Fair enough?
I have no problem with that.
There we go.
I'm glad that you know.
Listen, he'll notify. John does a good job. He'll notify.
Okay, we got it. But also, when they have our flower pots that we, Milton Garden likes to put flowers in, will that be moved into an area that we can utilize the flower pots beforehand? And we have garbage cans. But we can't pick it up. They're really heavy. So will you be able to move that in a location that we can use them for our, our street, other streets?
I'll be more than happy to meet with you after the meeting to go over specifically what you're asking.
Okay. We'll go behind the scene. I don't know why we constantly go behind the scene today, but okay, thank you.
Okay, nice seeing you. I thought there was somebody else. How you doing? Morning, can you name and address, please?
Hi, good morning. My name is Stephanie Chase. I live in Lakeview. Just wanted to thank you for coming out and last weekend and helping the community and cleaning it up. It was a phenomenal effort by the residents and the town of Hempstead, and I thank you.
That was nice of Ms. Chase. By the way, I mean, that was great. I love the fact that you get so many, kids involved with the whole project. It was a lot of fun, and the men and women from the town actually had a blast working with everybody. So we appreciate it. We look forward to that, and I'm glad it was a great success. And that was very kind of you. And I actually want to let you know that I'll call everybody in that crew because they really had a great time working down there with you. So thank you. All right. All right. I don't have any other slips on the administrative calendar. Anybody else wish to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the administrative calendar from 9 through 7.
Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Bluesby. Aye. Councilwoman Miller. Aye. Councilman Mascarella.
Aye. Okay, a motion to adjourn?
Move that we adjourn.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Bluesby. Aye. Councilwoman Miller. Aye. Councilman Mascarella.
Aye. Okay, that formal portion of the board meeting has been adjourned. The town will remain to listen to the town's residents, and we'll start off with Felix Ricacci.
Felix Ricacci, Franklin Square. After former President Reagan died in 2004, the Hempstead Town Board dedicated the open space outside the town pavilion to the former president, calling it the Ronald Reagan Plaza. In 2020, this board announced that it was renaming that same space the Dorothy L. Gooseby Plaza. After failing to do his due diligence and disrespecting the former president, Supervisor Clavin was quoted in a news article saying, "At a time when African Americans and other minority groups were underrepresented in Hempstead Town government, Senior Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby challenged the status quo and fought for equal voting rights." The article discusses how the town's 6 councilmatic districts were formed as a result of Gooseby's decade-long federal litigation against the town's at-large voting system, which the court deemed discriminatory towards minority groups. During the town's recent redistricting process, Gooseby took a different course. On November 15, 2022, the town board held a special meeting, one not previously scheduled. At this meeting, only 4 town board members, which include Gooseby, appointed a redistricting commission and called 2 public hearings to discuss the redistricting issue. At that time, none of these meetings were put on the town's calendar, nor did the town ever mention the redistricting process in its featured news or in the town's social media platforms. Most notable was Gooseby's silence. Gooseby, who was often cited as a civil rights leader, made no effort to publicize these meetings to her constituents. At the redistricting hearing, where several maps proposed additional majority-minority districts, Gooseby chose to remain silent. Whether the councilmatic or at-large voting district method is better is a question for voting experts, and only Dorothy Gooseby knows if Dorothy Gooseby really believes in increased majority-minority districts in Hempstead. What Gooseby clearly demonstrated is she no longer is willing to make any effort for increased representation for minority groups in the town of Hempstead, an effort that didn't require a court battle, but simply required Gooseby to open her mouth. These hearings have shown Gooseby has no interest in fighting for increased representation for minority groups, and consequently, I propose all references to the Dorothy L. Gooseby Plaza be removed from the Ronald Reagan Plaza, and the town board pass a resolution to that effect. A person that is not even willing to speak up for their alleged beliefs does not deserve a monument to their name that purports to represent those beliefs. Thank you.
Okay, I generally don't speak at comments like this, but I have to apologize to the deputy supervisor. You know, it's a rare moment, ladies and gentlemen, that you're insulted for the public official. The deputy supervisor is an icon. She's a good person. She does a great job. And Ms. Bicacci, you come all the time. I got to tell you, I'm so insulted right now for her. I cannot believe the things you said. It's really inappropriate. And you know what? I don't comment on this portion a lot, but I got to tell you, I am so insulted for her. And I think it's horrible, the things you said about her. Totally inappropriate. And you know what? And frankly, you should be ashamed of yourself. And that's how I feel about it. People come in and they say whatever they want. They take such a vile personal attack against the deputy supervisor and make such insults and remarks. You know what? You've never walked any time in her shoes. She is an icon. She is a legend. She's a good person. A lot of these people, maybe we don't get along, and that's fine. A lot of people we do get along. But I'll tell you right now, most of the people never cross the line of hurling insults. Those are insults. That's despicable. You should be ashamed, and it's totally inappropriate. And you know what? I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you on so many levels. You know what? I feel bad for you now, because that's the kind of person you are. With that, I will call the next public caution, James Jacobs.
It was all true.
That's okay, Mr. Bicacci. Like I said, go home, look in the mirror, be ashamed, because that's how you should feel today. Good morning, Mr. Jacobs. And I'm sorry.
I'd like to say something. 2 beloved elected officials that I love like no other was Ronald Reagan and Deputy Supervisor Dorothy Gooseby. And that includes, I put them way ahead of fellow members of my family for that matter. These are 2 people, Reagan, a Lincoln-like president who I would believe saved the republic, and Dorothy Gooseby, who was the icon of the town of Hempstead. So, in all due respect, Felix, I think you got to redial that back, and maybe someday you come here and you mention that maybe you were a little bit out of line. So I'll leave it at that.
I'll repeat it again.
I'd like to say something as well. You know, we all sit up here It's fair to have a difference in political opinion. You can have a difference in political opinion, but to sling personal insults at somebody who works so hard to make life better for people, you should be ashamed of yourself. You went over and beyond political opinion. You crossed the line.
Not at all.
Okay.
Absolutely you did. Do it all the time.
All right, I will now call Mr. Jacobs. I will turn to you. It was nice to see you as always. Give your name and address for the record, and thank you.
It's not working, huh? Okay. Since the mic's not working.
No, we can.
No, I was trying to talk, but it's okay.
No, by the way, I can still hear you. It's still working.
It's okay, Cleveland.
Okay.
It's okay. Even though you took that side of your neck, it's okay. Because here's the thing I can understand. You speak about insulting and things of that nature. But last meeting, I witnessed there was a family of people of color sitting in the front, waiting to be recognized. When we recognize all the other achievers, all the other students, and a lady, Mrs. White, congratulations, being appointed onto the council. But this family here had to wait to the very end, but Boosie by herself acknowledged them. Everybody else acknowledged the group, got applause and everything else. But the only difference I noticed that there were people of color. They were sitting there very patient. It was 4 families. But yet you speak about outrages, how people are not mistreated. And I witnessed to my baby ground that you mistreat people of my nature. Look at the video. Look at the video from the last meeting. There was 4 families sitting in the front, waiting to be announced for their young children's achievement, and everybody ignored them. They spoke about the flag and everything else. Check the video, sir. Okay? If you don't want to believe me, check the video. And they had to wait to the very end to get a private picture with Deputy Superintendent Gooseby. None of the other council people were there. They were gone like ghosts. But it's okay. But yet you speak about outrages and so forth. See, one thing I love about Nassau County, they say it's one to all people, but it depends on politics and ethnicity from my perspective. That's just my humble thought. Thank you. Now, James B. Jacobs.
I'm going to say something right now because I'm sick and tired of being called, this.
I didn't call you anything, sir.
For 22 years, I wear the bulletproof vest. I didn't care what color you are. You call 911, I walk down that alleyway. I risk my life for every race, color, and everything on the planet. I'm sick and tired of hearing people like you and Felix come here and insult us. Good day, sir.
I didn't insult you, sir. I just told my observation. And I thank you for serving as a police officer. But your thing is to serve and protect, right? I get that. But in the same token, for families staying here for over 50 minutes to be announced for their children's achievement, and they only got one person off the 5 or 6 people sitting there,
No,
where's the justice in that? And the one quick question, I just want to ask the town attorney something. When you do the time, is that controlled by the ground rules of procedure? Because I know sometimes when people speak, that clock seems to move very, very fast. Thank you.
Let me explain to you what happened. Those youngsters that were here are people that I work with on a daily basis. They were here because I let them come and I told them to come at that time. I go to their churches. There are things that they're doing trying to learn how government works. And they were not aware. They were not invited to come. I did this on my own. No, I know people don't, but I do a lot for people, and I do it for those people and the children. There were people who come out with their kids because they want to learn how government works. And that's what that was about. They were not ignored. I had them sit there. So thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for thinking about the fact that you thought we had, but we did not.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Jacobs. I appreciate it.
And thank you for the correction, because here's the thing, Mr. Gooseby. Superintendent Gooseby, I hear what you're saying, but my whole thing is that everybody comes here and just want to be acknowledged. And I was not personally attack the officer up there, but from my neck of the woods, people dictate by their actions. I'm happy for anybody to achieve anything, as long as it's a fair playing field and everybody's acknowledged. And if you think I was saying that to you, sir, I was not. I was speaking about the people sitting there patiently that was Gooseby guests, and I just made sure they got the proper respect. Thank you.
Yeah, they did. I take care of them.
Okay, next we have Pro Jacobs.
So before I start, I live in Uniondale, an underserved community. And I will express my opinions, and I will take it like a woman. In 1988, Dorothy Gooseby filed a class action suit against the town of Hempstead, charging that the town's at-large voting system for the town board discriminated against the minority community. In 1997, the federal judge agreed and ruled that the town of Hempstead's method of voting at large was discriminatory and violated the Voting Rights Act. In January 2000, the United States Supreme Court denied review of the town of Hempstead's appeals. On February 14, 2023, weeks ago, Dorothy Gooseby voted yes to the town of Hempstead's discriminatory map with a reversal from morals from 1988. I would think that Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, Rosa Parks, and many more of our departed civil rights leaders, and the people of many races who marched with them, rolled over in their graves when she voted yes to these maps that discriminated against a majority minority community. Although her constituents joined residents across the town of Hempstead, attended countless town council meetings, and pushed to increase representation on the town board that would reflect the town's ever-growing diverse population and to keep minority communities whole, Ms. Goolsbee refused to speak or comment on the redistricting process. Even at the persistent request from her constituents who wanted to hear her thoughts, she did not speak, she did not value the concerns of her constituents, and she voted yes to a discriminatory map that would further marginalize and disenfranchise thousands of minority residents, including our youth. Again, what a significant reversal of Ms. Goolsbee's moral compass. I concur with Mr. Procaccia that all references to the Dorothy L. Goolsbee Plaza be removed from the Ronald Reagan Plaza and the town board passes a resolution to that effect. Ms. Goolsbee's lack of transparency, lack of advocacy for her constituents, and her apathetic attitude demonstrated towards residents that she was sworn in to represent makes her undeserving of this recognition. And then you can stop it to me because I really don't care.
I'm not going to stop anything from you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this because I want the people who are listening to this will listen to what she said, and I will tell you what actually happened. First of all, I was not allowed. Is she through? Yes, she's finished.
I'm right.
She left.
I'm not speaking.
Oh.
I'm right here.
No, she finished. And she was walking
I'm
back.
sitting here listening to you.
She walked away. First of all, it is against the law for me to come to those meetings that we had here at the town of Hempstead. I did not come because I'm not allowed to come. That is for the people who are working on the change of the legislature. They have nothing to do with me, in a sense. Okay? And then the other thing is, when I voted for you and Uniondale. You would not have been included, period. I did that for you. You don't know that what time when I could vote, because I did not want to lose Uniondale. I could have had something else, but I kept Uniondale. And let me tell you something, my dear. You don't even understand. I don't think you lived here when we were doing this case. This case was something we had to work. I lost 3 jobs. I had my house almost broken in. I had my cars with it. It was terrible. You don't even know. So when I finish my book, you'll have an opportunity to see. But what you're saying is totally unfactual, and you should say, and this guy here doesn't like black people, period. He never has liked me since I've been here. And for you, for a person of color sitting there and coming out with something like that against me, I am so sorry for you. I didn't bother you.
Okay, well,
I didn't say a word when you spoke. And not only that, what happened with this whole thing, none of us could vote. You wouldn't have been voting either. You wouldn't have been standing up there saying the things that you were saying. Not only did it change this area, so far, because of that case, we have over 120 people in different states who are now able to have councilman districts. We did not have them. There were so many of us, but we were never able to vote. Not only did we change here, we also changed the legislator that you go and speak to. They didn't have it either. We had 3, so you have to read the history. There were only 6 people who were in charge of the whole county of Nassau, and there were never any of us. So when I sit here and I listen to this and I put up with stuff, I put up with a lot, all of us. There were 28 of us who started out. In the end, only 2 people were left. Only 2 people left and left the 2 of us there. Because we stood for the ground for you and for everybody else. It's really a sad thing that that's the way you feel. And a sad thing that some of the things you come up here and say, I don't say anything, I just let you talk. But I'm talking now because I don't like it. And the people who are talking to you, and you are jealous of the fact that they put a plaque out there for me when you were trying to get a plaque for a man on Front Street? How dare you? How dare the man on such plaque?
the man on Front Street is Melvin Harris Jr.
I know he is. I don't have anything.
Jr. Uniondale would be a ghetto. Okay.
Well, it's been a ghetto since you've been there.
Let me tell you one thing.
Thank you, Ms. Jacobs. Thank you so much, Ms. Jacobs. thank you very
But
much.
you,
Next,
as a woman of color,
next we have
voted
John
against
Defense,
your
Mr.
minority
Defense, thank you, Ms. Jacobs.
You
Mr.
divided
Defense,
me
it's your
down.
opportunity, thank you
And
so
that's
much.
the way I
We are
feel.
very, very grateful for you, Ms.
And
Jacobs,
that's the
thank
way
you.
I
Thank you,
stand.
Ms.
I
Jacobs,
don't
thank
care
you.
what
Thank you,
you want to
that's
say.
great, thank you. All right.
My husband was a nice man. He
Oh,
worked
don't
for the
say
same
that.
as my husband.
Say that now.
And your husband came to me and apologized.
Let's Mr. Defense, how are you, Mr. Defense, give me your name and address, that'd be
Let the
great.
gentleman speak. Go ahead.
Good morning. It's about the 12th time I've been here, saying that the way you gentlemen and ladies are talking right now, you're proving that everybody's got a problem. I've been fighting for 12 months or more just to speak to the commissioner. I've been dealing with Ms. Murphy, and for 12 months plus, I've been getting excuses. I spoke to you, Mr. Claver. I spoke to the deputies. My problems has escalated. It's involved the senior citizen program, and it seems like if you pay a little attention to where I'm situated, which is in Baldwin, you'll find out that very few senior citizens even know what's going on. That's how far back we are because we're elders. And I happen to be one of the people that still got the Socrates, and I can't get to first base talking to anyone. All I get is, when I finish talking, you tell me, you, Mr. Claver, go in the back, leave my name and number. Somebody will get back to me, someone will get back to me, and for 12 months that hasn't happened yet.
Hold on, now I'm gonna ask Andrew Masmarino, the deputy in the office.
And he's
Mr.
one of them.
Masmarino, have you ever had a conversation with Mr. Defense?
Numerous conversations.
Have you actually had a conversation in the last 12 months?
I have, and letters and correspondence as well.
Okay, so there has been a response that's been from the deputy commissioner of the department.
Please bear with me. If I had the opportunity to speak with Commissioner Murphy, she would have resolved my problem as it happened. It took 15 minutes for me to get accused of wrongdoing, and not 12 months, and I'm still trying to clear myself. That don't make sense. And all because one of your employees made an accusation which was unfounded, still proven to be untrue, and no one wants to listen to me. And I'm still stuck with it. So ask it again. I want to hear it with...
I know you said that you went in the back room and nobody contacted you, and I just said, Mr. Masmarino, again, have you spoken to Mr. Defense?
I have.
Are you the deputy of the senior register department?
Yes,
Are you aware of apparently the problem Mr. Defense has?
I am.
Is it something that we can resolve, or is there something inappropriate happening? You tell me.
It's something that we have resolved.
Okay.
Is it resolved for you, sir?
Mr. Claver.
Yes, sir.
The last deputy was, that I spoke with was Mike Caputo. Mike Caputo was referred to me because Mr. Isi, however you pronounce her name, she resigned or got transferred or whatever. He took over at your request, and I said I didn't want to speak to him because I'm going to be going back to square one. He has yet to resolve my issue, or could not resolve my issue. One thing he accomplished was assisting me in getting a bingo game put into the center. As part of my personal problem that could have been resolved by Commissioner Murphy, if he could give me that one visit after the first accusation, this would have been resolved. But since then, it's escalated and it's out of hand. And I still request that either Commissioner Murphy, who's she's always busy, for a whole year, I've been getting excuse she's sick, she's in the field, she's here, she's there, but never me. No one has returned my calls yet, including this guy, Chairman Mike. I still want to get a hearing, but he cannot resolve my problem. It's either going to be Commissioner Murphy or you. No one else can resolve it.
Mr. Masmarino, what's your title again?
Deputy Commissioner.
Okay, and have you corresponded or spoken with Mr. Defense?
Numerous times.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Defense.
Not resolved. I told him it's not, but I can't do it in 3 minutes. I can't do it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Defense. Next up, Chris Jacobs.
Go in the back and nobody can sit down.
Yeah, but they look out for everybody. Get them fellas.
Morning, Mr. Jacobs. If your name and address for the record.
Yes, good morning, Chris Jacobs, Unionville, New York. I'm talking today about amending the street sweeper schedule sent out about a month ago. And my suggestion for that is adding in the month of November, due to the fact that it doesn't even get cold anymore in November. And most of the time, the residents, I know everybody here included, most of the time the gardeners and stuff don't do their cleanups till late November, early December. And so because of that, they leave a lot of debris in the streets and everything like that. And I know the town of Hempstead right now, they're actually doing a big, giant repaving of all the tertiary residential roads. So I think that they should add the month of November into the street sweeping schedule due to the fact that, you know, for this whole past winter time, I've had to drive over, you know, debris left from people's yards and stuff. Because as the, when they did the street sweeping, they just left it all there. And the town of Hempstead never came for the street sweeping schedule to continue. So I asked that that be amended to November due to the fact that so our streets can be cleaner. We got brand new paved roads in a lot of the township areas now, and I think that's a good thing. And also, I've been just doing some Google searching, and I know Councilman Carini. Hi, how you doing? Hello. Yeah, well, Kristen, how you doing? You just, you know, spoke up very well in your opinion towards Councilwoman Guzman, and that's fine. But also, I know my mom and dad went at you a little bit, but something that you had did, you initiated the graffiti task force back in 2020. Yes. I just, on my way here to come to this town meeting today, I just saw on, I believe, 897 Front Street, there's a giant thing with graffiti. Can you take care of that for me?
One, I'll take under advisement, I'll talk to the commissioner about extending it. I would ask you to forward the identification to the deputy supervisor so we can coordinate with that, okay? All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for acknowledging the road projects. We're really happy we got a lot of roads done. So we appreciate it very much. But I will follow up with the, if we can extend the street sweeping, okay?
Yes, and then also the graffiti.
Yep. But if you can send that to where do you live?
I live in Unionville.
Right, just send it to the deputy supervisor, that's their district, and we can have somebody go there.
But I know that he led the task force to the graffiti cleanup.
Gotcha.
He can help me out too.
Okay. Okay, next I have Jessica Rowe. Morning, Ms. Rowe, if you give your name and address for the record.
Morning. My name is Jessica. I live in Elmont. Okay, it's my first time here. So, hello, board and residents. My name is Jessica. I've been a resident of Elmont since I was born. I love that it's a multicultural town bordering the state's biggest melting pot. Such a beautiful town, but in recent years, I have noticed as an adult that that the litter there is a bit excessive in areas. All I can think of is where does the litter go when it's not being picked up? Possibly everybody's drinking water. So, based on multiple conversations I've had with the sanitation department, having public recycling on main roads isn't currently possible, but hopefully it will be one day. However, I do know requesting trash bins is possible, so I come before the board asking to consider putting up more trash receptacles in areas around 7-Eleven, Village Plaza, Elmont Post Office, and the cemetery across the street. The summer's coming up, and I know more people will be enjoying the outdoors, so simply having a few trash baskets, I believe, will help the town tremendously. We'll have a safer, cleaner, and aesthetically pleasing environment. So thank you for your time and support.
Ms. Rowe, just, if I'm not mistaken, I just wanted to, Jack, is that town pickup or is that sanitary district number 6 in Elmont?
It is.
I think it's 6.
I think it's 6.
Yeah.
It's a local sanitary district, but you know what? Perhaps if you could, Kathy, is Kathy here? Kathy Malone, if she take a name and address, maybe we can coordinate something with sanitary district 6 because they'd have to pick up the garbage, but let me see what we can work out if we can follow up with you, okay?
Oh, sorry, you said to coordinate with who?
Kathy's going to get your name and number, and I'm going to reach out to sanitary district number 6 about seeing if we can do a joint project because they pick up the garbage, but maybe we can work something out with cans and having them pick it up, okay? But I just want to keep you in the loop on it, all right?
All right.
Kathy? Thanks. Great. So we did that. All right. Ms. Thunderbird?
Thunderbird. Thunder, yeah.
How you doing? Good morning. Name and address for the record.
Wilhelmina Thunderbird.
Okay.
And I am a resident of Roosevelt. I have been for over 55 years. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you for Mr. Lipinski. He came out, took care of those problems that I had on East Clinton Avenue, which I had been complaining about several times with our elected representative, my friend, Dorothy Gooseby, Deputy Commissioner now. You know, we are very, very upset with our representative who we elected to represent us in Roosevelt. In the beginning, she did an excellent job. But I don't know, you know, after a while, I don't know if we get complacent or we just get tired. But as my mother used to always say, when you get tired, you get off the pot and you let somebody else sit on it. And the only thing I'm saying to my friend, hard worker, I worked with her for years, helped her get elected in Roosevelt, Uniondale, and everywhere. You have to stay in contact with the people who vote and elect you. That's it. And we are very neglected in Roosevelt. I can't speak for anybody else, I speak for Roosevelt. On the corner of East Clinton and Nassau Road, that lot needs cleaning. Every time you call and try to make an appointment, can't get an appointment now. I don't know why. We used to have meetings where she would come out and sit and listen and hear what's put out complaints on. Haven't had one of those in a while, long time. The only meeting that we had was not about the complaints in the community. It was about one complaint. See, because I go to all of them. It is time for our representative to reverse back to how she was before. That is to listen to the people who vote her in, because it's important. We are there, we are behind you, and we expect for you to have our back like we have your back when we go to the polls to vote for you. Thank you.
Okay, you finished? All right, let me tell you something. I do not have time to have you come to my home or come for me to come to you. You have been friends, and I still consider you a friend. But what you're saying now is completely wrong. If you don't know what's happening in Roosevelt, why don't you go see? And not only that, there's not one meeting that I've invited you to. Remember, we did have COVID, and we were closed down. But before COVID, I know that you came to the meeting that we had before we put up Dunkin' Donuts. You were there, you and your daughter. And you always come. I've had 3 meetings so far about what's happening over there, and you were there at 2 of them. I know that. And even the lady from Baldwin was there. But I have never done anything to you. I know there's some things you want me to do, but I'm not going to do it because it's personal for you, but it's not personal for me. And you come here and say that, and people, and I talk to people who are there also. A lot of people saying this about you. I don't know what's going on with you right now, because you look different. And I know you don't say, no, I'm not any different. But because the whole thing is, I take care of things. You talk about
You're not taking care of things like you used to, Dorothy. Now, I don't care.
You can say whatever. Listen, I'm speaking now.
Believe me, I'm not coming here on a personal note, okay? I'm coming here on a community note. And I'm not the only one that's complaining about what you're doing in our area, okay? People are upset. Okay, I've been in that community over 50-some years, and people are upset with you.
Thank you, Mr. Member. Next I have Morning, if you name and address for the record.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. I have not been in attendance for over a year, and that's because I felt more could be accomplished by building the new until the old started rebuilding. Not to minimize the good that's been done at the animal shelter, but this is a public safety, public integrity, and animal welfare issue, and my silence could be perceived as consent. I've been the scapegoat for personnel changes actually made by management, the acting director. I'd like to clarify that I took no part in the recommendation to bring in a part-time shelter trainer who clearly was able to circumvent the RFQ and RFP process, unlike a recent applicant who went through the 4-month process. A call was made to this applicant after posting a clear threat of violence to the public A call was made to the applicant to reinstate him when a call should have been made to Homeland Security. The RFQ process was circumvented in this climate when someone posts a threat of violence. If you're a student, you can't even enter the property of a school if you post a threat of violence. I'm asking this board to post the RFQ. If this is your caliber of employee, that's up to you. As I said, you make the personnel decisions, as does the acting director and your appointee supervisor. All I ask is that you post the RFQ or RFP, have them go through the process so the public can see the contract, the resume, any certifications if they even exist. Training methods, by the way, there are only two: positive reinforcement and aversive training. Claim forms, job applications, and salary. This is a pivotal time at the animal shelter. I am most grateful for some of the changes that were made, but what's the point? If you're going to take these vacancies and not fill them with top experts, people of merit, people with high integrity, there's no point to it. And for me to have to come back here after a year when I have pleaded and urged officials to please post the RFP, please be transparent to the public so that they can see these documents, and that hasn't happened. I urge you to make that happen and to rethink the kind and caliber of employees that you have subjected other town employees to. I wanted to mention also that mismanagement starts very early. I was here in 2016. It's not about liking or disliking anyone. This is about an integrity issue, a public safety issue, and
I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate your thoughts and your advocacy at all times. So I thank you very much for coming in, and we will follow up. Next I have up Stephanie Chase.
thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie Chase? Roy Reynolds? Hey, you want to name that for the record, thanks.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Roy Reynolds. I'm actually from Brookhaven town, though I did grow up in the Levittown area. I'm working with a group of concerned citizens here in Nassau and Suffolk counties. We are giving this presentation to all towns and cities in Nassau and Suffolk counties. We're involved with voting integrity, especially the voting rolls. It is our goal today to raise your awareness of voting irregularities in New York State. And we're going to ask for your help. Recently, New York State voter rolls were reviewed. They're also known as New York State Voter Database, which of course includes residents from Hempstead and Nassau counties. The voter rolls are supposed to be an accurate list of people who are eligible to vote. In 2021, a copy of the New York State Voter Database was obtained and reviewed for accuracy and integrity. The data came from New York State Board of Elections, the county voter rolls, and New York State Secretary of State. Anyone here can obtain the voter database from the state and confirm the findings if you FOIL the information. There are over 21 million records between 3 and 4 terabytes of data. Okay, this report was mailed to you, emailed to you, and also delivered today. You should have a copy of it. The report is a result of analysis of the voter database. The report is known as the Deficits Report, and it found serious inconsistencies in the voter rolls. This affects residents of Hempstead and all New York State. What the report found is that the voter rolls are not accurate, unqualified voters are voting, and the number of votes are not equaling the number of voters who vote. As an example, for the 2020 general election, the report found over 338,000 more votes were cast than voters who actually voted. There were over 740,000 ineligible votes cast statewide, and over 2.4 million New York State voter ID numbers were assigned to less than 1.2 million registrants. These 2.4 million registrants are known as clone voters, which have multiple voter ID numbers and can vote, and in some cases have voted multiple times in the same election. These are not duplicate voters. There should be only one state voter ID number per voter. We've knocked on hundreds of doors and confirmed the existence of clone voters. Clone voters have been found in Hempstead and counties throughout the state. Corrupted voter rolls opened the door for fraud. The deficit report concluded that a full end-to-end audit is warranted. To this end, we will use your support. In the upcoming weeks, a resolution will be submitted for your consideration calling for a statewide audit of New York State voter database. The voter rolls have been compromised. They need to be corrected. We need your help. Okay, my time is up. One of my colleagues is here. Danny.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. I know I saw those packets come in. I would also direct your conversation really should be with the county legislature and the Nassau County Board of Elections because they handle those administrative needs. But I do appreciate it, and I will forward my copy of it to the county executive. And again, thank you very much. Next, I have.
So.
Oh, you give me name that. There are people who signed in. I have to kind of go through.
I know.
But no, you gotta wait till I sign people. They go through people who sign in. I gotta go through the terms. So next I have Ms. Merida.
Okay. First, I just want to finish the statement that I was cut off earlier with regard to the bond resolution authorizing the $2 million for a wood frame building for environmental, interpretive, and teaching center. We have a building in Baldwin that has historical reference to a veteran. I don't know why we can't find some money to build that out into an interpretive and teaching center for the thousands of veterans who serve this country, who continue to serve this country, and who suffer in this country. Now to the issue at hand. I love how there's that expression, it's better to be right alone than to be wrong with hundreds of others. I don't see where Mr. Procacci's statement was not factual. There was a vote. She was there. She voted yes. Those are the facts. That's what it is. You have residents, including myself, who don't feel we're getting represented. We're paying our taxes. Our streets are a hot mess. Our services are deplorable. We've had commissioners here who basically told residents, including our seniors, well, if you want to get to a cooling center or if you want to go to another senior facility that's better than offering more than what you have, you can take a bus and go to Merrick. It's on the record. Those are facts. Talk about being insulted? Please. Don't even have enough time to do that. I've been cut off, shut down, and even now, Supervisor Clavin, you're not even looking me in the eye as I'm speaking. But you do that to a select few as well. You can't be reading, I was always taught to look people in the eye. That's a measure of respect. You can do the flipping hands and all of that, and you're still looking down. So, again, the facts speak for themselves. We need residents that are going to step up because, we're fighting the fight in Nassau County, but folks don't realize the town is going to be the last stand for the casino. It's going to end up here. And if we don't step up, and I want that report about the voting, because if it means that it invalidates the majority of you, not the appointees, then hey, I'm all for it. Let's clean them out. Vote them out. But you got to speak up, you got to step up. So for all of y'all that are on my tax roll, that were clapping and applauding for the segregated maps that we have to live under for another 10 years, Shame on you. I want to see that donor list too, because I know you got the friends and family plan attached to that. Just the fact.
We appreciate it as always.
No, you don't. It's all right though.
That's okay, great.
I'm
I
done.
have Tammy Dobell. Good morning, if you give me your name and address for the record.
Hi, good morning. Tammy Topel. I live in Northport, New York, and I, along with Roy, are, part of a grassroots group of individuals who came upon this information from the citizens audit, and I, for one, and some friends are completely stunned at the number of inaccuracies and the number of questions that remain unanswered or that were unanswered from the 2020 election. And I want to point out that this is a nonpartisan issue. It is the fact, it's the law, on the voter law, the Board of Elections, if there are questions and irregularities that are not answered, then an election should not be certified. And so the 2020 election was certified, the 2022 election continued, and it happened, and that should not happen according to New York State voter law. So our goal is to clean up the voter rolls and to have an audit with a group of professionals that can take the data that is from the voter rolls, it's factual data from their own rolls, take that data and audit the data, and so they're able to replicate what we found, or what the citizens audit has found, and what we think is, something that really needs to be dealt with. Now, I'm going to speak specifically to Nassau County. So in total, for Nassau County, there were 48,133 irregular votes. And there are over 165,000 duplicate voter IDs. Each person should only have one voter ID in their life. And to have 165,000 duplicate voter IDs is in my book, it's a huge problem, and all we are trying to do is clean up those numbers. That's it. 126 people voted who did not have addresses, permanent addresses, so they should not have been able to vote. 76 people registered after the cutoff date and still proceeded to vote. So, again, we are just trying to raise awareness, and we want, myself and friends have an issue. They think that our votes don't count.
I thank you again. Like I said to the earlier speaker, I'll submit his report there to the Nassau County Executive, but all those records are held by the Nassau County Board of Elections, and if there are duplicates, they're the ones who have to remove them all. But thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Next I have Patty Harris. Still good morning, and you give your name and address for the record.
My name is Mrs. Melvin Harris Jr. I was here to speak about something else totally different. But you know what? Since I sat here and listened how my husband's name was tarnished about him getting a street named after him, a state street named after him. That man did more than you did within the community. You may have did something 50 years ago, but what he did in his lifetime for the communities from Queens all the way to Nassau County to Suffolk County, what he did was way more than what you did. He knew how to get people together to make the communities a little better. And that's why his name is on a state street. His name is in Queens, by Queens Village Depot. And his name is on a dedicated bench that is reflective. When you sit there, you can reflect on what is going on in your life at the Nassau County Executive Building. So because that man got a name on that street, people kept telling me how jealous you was, and I kept saying no. But today, I've seen it. I never ever talked about your husband to you. I never told you how people say, how can he be married to you because you're mean and nasty and don't do for the community. I never said that. You came up to me one time at my daughter's field day to tell me I should speak to my husband on his politics. And I told you, no way. If he had his politics disturb you, then that's between you two. But as a wife, as a taxpayer, as a stakeholder, I am so sad that Jay Jacob cannot get you out of that seat quick enough. You need to retire. You need to pass it on to somebody who will do what they need to do for our community. And you, Mr. Clavin, and the rest of you up there, just because you got one black friend, they don't talk for every black person in the community.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Max. I don't know, maybe the slips out, so everybody have a great day. Thank you very much.